Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another installment of Beer Time. I'm your host, Ferris. Let's begin. Now, when I was in college, the craft beer thing was really starting to hit its full stride, and, oh damn. Pardon me, I'm sorry. It was really starting to hit its full stride, and you had all sorts of different options there. You had IPAs were really becoming popular and common. You had everybody doing simple things like golden ales, Belgian blends, and then things started getting absolutely crazy. Weird inverted IPAs, barley wines, and then cider started becoming a comeback. And things have been kind of rolling on from there. And what's really been kind of cool is watching people go, what can we brew next? What's the next big thing to do? And from that aspect, it's kind of interesting to see a couple of these come on the market as hard root beers and hard versions of soft drinks like ginger beer, root beer, that sort of thing. Now, historically, ginger beer, root beer, sarsaparilla, all of those are the origin for soft drinks because while they are traditionally fermented, they are also non-alcoholic. Okay? That's why the term soft drink exists. Now, though, we have a few of these on the market. And I'm going to talk about this one. This is Not Your Father's Root Beer from Small Town Brewery in Wisconsin. A couple of highlights on this. Most interesting thing that it leaps out to me as, it is 5.9% ABV. That is fairly potent. So it'll be interesting to see how this tastes compared to some of the other stronger beers that we've reviewed here. Couple of notes on here, kind of vintage, old school looking label. Man in a suit. Up front here, an old sailing schooner. Looks like a guy with a barrel. Looks very kind of vintage 1920s, 19-teens sort of feel to it. Flavor notes on the side here reads, this is a beer flavored with spices. We like to think of it as a dark spiced ale with vanilla and honey notes. Best served chilled or poured in a glass over ice. We know you'll enjoy it. We do. Now, when I was a kid, my overall favorite soft drink was root beer. Henry Weinard's, Virgil's, Dad's, Barks, A&W, Mug. I'd go for that stuff pretty much to the exclusion of everything else over Coke, Diet Coke, Pepsi, RC Cola, everything else like that. So this is kind of interesting to me. We'll see how this turns out. I've had a couple of other hard root beers in the past, Coney Island being one of them, and even hard ginger ale. I think Krabby's is on the market if you prefer a ginger ale, which I actually do in my adulthood. So, from a beer perspective, that looks pretty much about like what you'd expect after opening a can of A&W. Even then, almost no head to speak of. It is still fizzy and carbonated, just like what you'd get out of a soda fountain. Flavor-wise, let's get into it. Now, root beer is typically vanilla flavored, very strong vanilla flavors to it. Some other stuff on there, but that's the predominant thing, so we'll see how this turns out. That's root beer. Wow. That is... I'd have to get them side by side and possibly do a taste for that, but to me, to my palate, that is almost indistinguishable from, say, A&W, like from the draft sort of thing. It tastes like a real premium root beer. But with some of the other hard root beers that I've had, or even the hard ginger beers, there's usually an alcohol aftertaste. Like, you can actually taste that, ooh, there's something kind of there. This might not be for Little Junior. Not so much with this. Very vanilla-y. Very honey flavors coming through. Anise, a little bit. Maybe just a hint of that. Little anise. But even then, the mouthfeel of that is very similar to your average soda pop. If you are a root beer aficionado, and you want something that will get you a little buzzed, that's a pretty good thing. Now, this does bring up a salient point to me, and I've been considering this once I've been thinking about this here, is suppose you're at a party or something, and you've got people that are, let's say, recovering alcoholics, or that you have a religious taboo against drinking, Muslims, Mormons, what have you. I would, if it were me and I were in that sort of situation, I'd definitely go out of my way to make sure that this is kept separate if you have regular root beer there. Now, in fairness to Small Town Brewery, they do have labeling on the bottle itself. It is kind of out of the way, though. For the alcohol by volume, it's kind of over here in the corner. On the six-pack packaging itself, it does say only for 21 and over. I might be paraphrasing that a little bit. But, so, if you've got a six-pack on, you kind of know at the store you're buying something that's not exactly what you can get out of the soda fountain. The evil part of me would see as a prank for some of the religious taboo. Here, have a nice mug of blasphemy. I'm probably going to hell for that joke. Anyway. It is a beer. It sure doesn't taste like one, though. It is a sneaky beer. No, no, Reverend, I'm just having a root beer. It's fine, yes. You know. Food pairings, I can't really think of too much that you could pair this with. I would almost say that it would actually be good to cook with, because it does have that sweetness to it. There's still a lot, just like you would for a regular soft drink, there is quite a bit of sweetness overall to it. It'd be definitely good to flavor something like pork. Would be a great thing to pair this with if you were to, say, pour this over like a pork tenderloin, or just dump a bottle of this in a slow cooker with a pork short ribs or something like that. A little pricey to do that with, though. Six-pack of this ran me about $8, which, again, your mileage may vary, you know. Same thing goes for availability, although this I picked up at Walmart, so it's a brewery in Wisconsin, Walmart in California. Fair chance you'll be able to find it where you're at. Would I go for it again? Well, I think it's good for what it is. And I might be a little biased in that case. When I was a kid, I liked root beer for one, because A, I was too young to drink, and B, just for something to have to drink for that. Do I still like root beer? Yes, I do. But in my case, I feel like I've been hardwired a little bit just by my habits or what have you to I'll take something kind of sweet and fizzy for lunch or for a mid-afternoon drink or something like that, and I'll have something either bitter or malty and alcoholic for my afternoon drinks. This is a little confusing for me because the flavor profile on this, to me, thinks like, okay, I'm having a mid-afternoon lunch. Oh no, wait a minute, this is almost 6% alcohol by volume. It's lampshade on head time. However, so that's for me personally. I think it's a great product. Not exactly something I'd really go for as a personal thing, but everyone's a little different. If you've got that person in your life that doesn't like the way beer traditionally feels, you still want to have an alcoholic beverage, which most people do every now and then, and you want something that will fit into a drinking schedule that beer will, because let's be honest, if you get a six-pack, you can keep track of how much you've had. Even then, you can break it down by bottle. If there's 6 of you, you can spread it around. Definitely something for the person that doesn't like a traditional beer. Or again, like I said, the root beer aficionado. If you like that root beer sort of flavor and you want that in your life, this exists. You know, God bless capitalism. That's actually the cool thing, because someone has actually viewed, you know what? I like alcoholic root beer. I'll bet you at least there's some other people out there that will give me money for alcoholic root beer. Let's make it. And they did. And I bought it. More power to them, I say. That's about all I got for the most part. Again, like I've said for pretty much everything else, it is worth trying. For me personally, I probably wouldn't go too far out of my way to try it again. Or to buy it. I'll drink it if someone has it. But it is a great product. It's good. Not quite what I'm looking for, but this is why I'm here. Tell you what it's all about. Show you what you got there. Special credit, by the way, goes out to Sneaky for suggesting it. I've done it. It's good. Definitely worth trying. Thank you for the suggestion. As always, please subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter at @iron_fox. In the meantime, stay safe. Please drink responsibly, and cheers.